Hello everybody, what's up guys? Welcome on this channel. Welcome on LaksChanel. On this channel we discuss about immigrant, how to strengthen immigrant, how to make immigrant very rich in the country where they reside. And today I would like to talk about a very important topic. I would like to discuss with you 5 risks that people usually face when they decide to build their vacational home or their single family home in their country of origin while they're still living abroad. So what are the 5 main risks that people face when they decide to build a house in their country of origin? So let's get started. So the risk number 1 that people usually face is the risk of misuse of financial resources. What does that mean? It means there are many rooms for errors, there are many rooms for misuse of the money that you're sending back home for the construction. There is that mistaken belief that people living abroad, for some reason, people back home think they have a lot of money. So people may not pay specific attention on how they're spending the money that you're sending, because they believe that where you live, you got a lot of money, regardless of the kind of life that you are living abroad. So that increase the chances of people misusing your money. So usually when they're going to buy materials, when they're going to pay for the labor, usually people will overstate the amount, because they know you're not around, they know you're abroad, they know you have the best life, so you probably don't need that money. So that will give them even additional reason for them to steal your money, for them to misuse the money. So the first major risk that you have to pay attention is the risk of misuse of funds. So pay a specific attention to how people are spending your money. Double check the invoice, ask for video on a daily basis. Make sure that whenever people buy stuff, they sent you the video of the stuff that they bought, they sent you the invoice of the stuff that they bought, they sent you everything showing the exact amount that they have spent. Ask for the original invoice, ask for the picture of the original invoice, ask for the inventory. You can check your inventory on a distant basis, on a regular basis. At least let them know that you are looking at the inventory consumption and that you are looking at the money. Like, they need to feel that you are involved into your project. The moment they feel that you are not fully committed to follow up your project, that's where they will start misusing the fund. So be careful, guys. Pay attention to that. The second big risk that people face when building back home is that there might be a misalignment between what you have in mind and what people are actually building back home. Sometimes, regardless of the level of communication, regardless of the instruction that you are giving on a daily basis, it might still end up building something that is not exactly what you are planning to build, what you have in mind as your house, as your dream house, right? So for this type of risk, what you need to do, again, if you can, it's always better to pay a visit directly on the ground and make sure that whatever they are doing really match what you have in your mind. Because sometimes, again, I've seen many cases where there is a clear misalignment between what people have in their mind and what is being built on the ground. So guys, make everything possible to make sure that whatever they are doing is exactly what you have in your mind, because sometimes the gap is really big, the gap is really big. And pictures and videos not always tell the truth. Sometimes there is really different between the videos that we're receiving and whatever they are building on the ground. Again, for this risk, the best way, send someone you trust, pay yourself a trip to the building site to take a look and make sure that everything happening is what you wanted to do. So this is also one major risk that you have to pay attention to that. The third risk that people usually face when they build from a distant basis is that they may end up having a poor quality construction. What does that mean? People may buy stuff, and show you the correct invoice, the correct amount, the correct of everything, but the quality of the equipment, the quality of the materials that they are buying is a very poor quality. At the end of the day, you will end up having a nice looking house, But in the first few weeks, you will start having trouble with the house because, you know, the sink may not be working properly, the robinetry may not be working properly, and stuff in the house might not be working properly. So due to the fact that they bought stuff of a very, very low quality. So usually that also is a big sign, big risk area where you have to pay specific attention. Make sure that they buy the good quality of equipment, the good quality of material to build your house, because the durability of the house depends on the type of materials that have been used to build the house. So it's very important to pay specific attention to the quality of the material, because you being on a distant basic, the temptation from people back home might be very, very high to buy low quality stuff and just show it to you, because they know from a distant basic you may not be able to really assess the quality of the material. So this is a major risk, guy. To cover this week's, what I will suggest is, again, do a counter verification. Again, if you have someone that you really trust back home, if you know the good quality, you might ask quote from very different people and see different quotes, and ask question to different, you know, contractor to see the quality, and really educate yourself on whatever you are doing to make sure that you are able to track the good quality and distinguish it from the poor quality, and make sure that the quality of the construction will be something sustainable, like to have a very, very durable house. Very important risk, guys. The fourth risk while building back home is the non-sufficient funding for the project, because sometimes you receive all the quotes, you know, you think you have enough money to start, but by the moment you start, you know, there are so many unforeseen events, there are so many surprises that you end up having a shortage on your funding. You know, you being on a distant basic, you know, they may send you quote, a lower quote, just to gain the market. The moment you give them the market, then they will come up with the real cost, which is something much higher than what you initially think, and then you end up realizing that, oh, you don't have enough fund to complete the project, and then you end up having, you know, leaving the project uncompleted. And this is something that happened a lot of times. So make sure, again, to double check, make your own calculation, make your own research to confirm that whatever is the quote from a contractor, that quote is completed. That quote is include everything that you will need to bring your project from the A to Z. Very important, guys. Don't just rely on a single quote and take the decision. You might end up not having enough fund to take your project until the end. Very important this week as well. The fifth risk of building back home is having a construction not fit for purpose. What does that mean? Again, usually when you live abroad, you want to build back home, you may not realizing that, okay, you may just want to have a single family house, and then you think maybe this house may be used for, I don't know, short-term rental, short-term hotel, or just a normal rent. But you end up realizing that the area that you're building is not appropriate for the rental. And then you realize that, oh, the initial purpose of the house or the initial purpose of the construction may not be fit to the reality on the ground. Why? Because of lack of feasibility analysis. Very important. As much as you can, always take the time to conduct your feasibility analysis to make sure that the intended use of the house will be fit for whatever is your goal while constructing back home. A lot of people will just go ahead and build a house, and then at the end, oh, I want to live in it. Then some few months later, oh, I want to turn it into rental. And then just a few months later again, I want to turn it into a commercial house. You cannot guess on the use of the property. Make sure that you have a very clear and calculated use of the house before you even start the construction, to avoid the situation where you will put a lot of investment in a property and then the use is not even the initial planned use, and then you end up losing your money. So those are the 5 main risks to consider. Whenever you feel the need to build back home, please make sure to look up those different risks and make sure to prepare yourself to cover them all before you start the construction. If you like the video, guys, share to any immigrant around you, and let's make the community grow again. Thanks.